Now, you started as a radio, disc jockey, as you said. When you were, spinning platters and making with the banter, did you ever think the President of the United States would be celebrating your unemployment?
For those who think I go too hard on Donald Trump, to the point where there are still a lot of people who think I should be pulled off the air for making fun of Donald Trump. So I want to explain that I talk about Trump more than anything because he's a bully. I don't like bullies. I played the clarinet in high school, okay? So I just don't like him. Donald Trump is an old-fashioned 80s movie style bully, taking your lunch money. And if you give it to him once, he'll take it again. And he'll stuff you in a locker, and he'll stomp on your trapper keeper and slam the door. That is Donald Trump.
And yet, when Donald Trump repeatedly lies or cheats, or shows utter disregard for our Constitution, or just insults people, when he calls service members who died in battle losers, or fellow citizens vermin, or the enemy within, people make excuses for it. They say, well, he's not serious. He's not, everything a president says is serious.
The story really starts in 2011 at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Barack Obama stepped to the podium looking completely relaxed and fully in command, before carefully taking apart Donald Trump's repeated focus on the birther conspiracy. The speech remains part of the public record, and the footage has been replayed countless times over the years, yet people continue returning to it because of one detail the cameras never stopped capturing. They repeatedly showed Trump's expression as the jokes landed around the room, and he appeared anything but amused. Obama never rushed the delivery. Instead, he placed each joke with precise timing, pausing long enough for the audience to absorb it before moving to the next line. As the laughter continued to build, it became obvious he was committed to carrying the moment all the way through. In the years since, many viewers have looked back on that evening as one of the defining scenes in modern political television. For countless observers, it was the night a future presidential candidate experienced life on the receiving end of the joke, instead of controlling the attention. That interpretation is based on how many people remember the event, not on speculation. The historical record is still available, including Obama's remarks about the birth certificate and the memorable movie trailer parody that helped make the entire speech one of the most talked about political comedy moments of its era.
Get it? What I cannot understand is why anyone would think that Donald Trump will shake things up in a way that is good for you. That I don't understand. Because there is absolutely no evidence that this man thinks about anybody but himself. I've said it before. Donald Trump is a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down that golden escalator 9 years ago. And when he's not complaining, he's trying to sell you stuff. He's got his gold sneakers. He's got the $100,000 watch. Says it's a Swiss watch, but nobody can actually figure out where in Switzerland was this thing made.
I think unjustly, this puts them at risk. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a...
The story really starts in 2011 at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where Barack Obama stepped to the podium looking completely relaxed and fully in command, before carefully taking apart Donald Trump's repeated focus on the birther conspiracy. The speech remains part of the public record, and the footage has been replayed countless times over the years, yet people continue returning to it because of one detail the cameras never stopped capturing. They repeatedly showed Trump's expression as the jokes landed around the room, and he appeared anything but amused. Obama never rushed the delivery. Instead, he placed each joke with precise timing, pausing long enough for the audience to absorb it before moving to the next line. As the laughter continued to build, it became obvious he was committed to carrying the moment all the way through. In the years since, many viewers have looked back on that evening as one of the defining scenes in modern political television. For countless observers, it was the night a future presidential candidate experienced life on the receiving end of the joke, instead of controlling the attention. That interpretation is based on how many people remember the event, not on speculation. The historical record is still available, including Obama's remarks about the birth certificate and the memorable movie trailer parody that helped make the entire speech one of the most talked about political comedy moments of its era.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we take the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
By the time the 2016 White House Correspondents' Dinner arrived, it almost felt like the perfect final act. During what would be his last appearance at the event as president, Barack Obama closed the evening with the now legendary microphone drop, a simple exit that instantly became one of the most recognizable comedy moments ever delivered by a sitting president. Throughout the speech, he blended policy references, playful jokes aimed at the media, and several carefully crafted remarks about Donald Trump without ever raising his voice or abandoning his calm, measured delivery. If the 2011 dinner introduced this style, then the 2016 event served as its polished conclusion, proving that a sharp political roast does not need shouting or theatrics to leave a lasting impression. Every part of that speech remains easy to verify through the White House archives, C-SPAN's full broadcast, and the published transcript, preserving each joke and every line exactly as it was delivered on that stage.
The Donald is not really a plans guy. He's not really a facts guy either. He calls himself a business guy, which is true, but I have to say I know plenty of businessmen and women who've achieved remarkable success without leaving a trail of lawsuits and unpaid workers and people feeling like they got cheated. Does anyone really believe that a guy who spent his 70 years on this earth showing no regard for working people is suddenly going to be your champ?
Now move ahead to March 10, 2024, when Jimmy Kimmel was hosting the Academy Awards live and another unforgettable television moment unfolded. While the ceremony was still underway, Donald Trump published a post on Truth Social criticizing the Oscars, calling the broadcast boring, accusing it of becoming overly political, and labeling Kimmel the worst host. Rather than pretending it never happened, Kimmel surprised everyone by reading the entire post aloud during the live broadcast. He even thanked Trump with a grin before quickly adding a joke, asking whether it was already past Trump's jail time. The audience erupted because it felt completely unscripted, transforming Trump's own message into the setup for the punchline. That is classic Kimmel. He takes something happening in real time and flips it into comedy before millions of viewers have time to process it. The exchange spread across the internet almost immediately, with major news organizations including The Hollywood Reporter, USA Today, and Business Insider highlighting it as one of the defining moments of the evening.
I was just, doing this show is not about me, and I appreciate you having me. It's really about you and Emma and all these great actors and actresses and filmmakers. But I was told we have like an extra minute, and I'm really proud of something. I was wondering if I could share it with you. I just got a review, and has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. See if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still... Isn't it past your jail time?
The reason Kimmel's approach often connects so well with audiences is that he usually does not have to invent the setup himself. Instead, he simply takes Trump's own words, places them in front of viewers, and allows the reaction to happen naturally. That is where the comparison with Obama becomes especially interesting. Obama had a gift for cutting through a narrative with a handful of carefully chosen remarks that exposed its weak points, while Kimmel specializes in capturing events as they unfold and immediately turning them into live comedy. Once you step back and look at these moments together, a familiar pattern begins to appear. Obama's 2011 Correspondents' Dinner roast helped shape the public image of Trump as someone who strongly disliked becoming the punchline. When Obama returned for his farewell dinner in 2016, that storyline only became more deeply rooted. Then, Kimmel's decision to read Trump's Truth Social post during the 2024 Oscars sparked another wave of headlines, online debate, and media coverage. The reactions often followed a familiar rhythm: visible frustration, a determination to answer back, and another effort to reclaim the spotlight through an even louder response. That consistency is exactly why these moments remain memorable. There is no need to exaggerate what happened or manufacture extra drama, because the footage, the public statements, and the reactions already tell the story on their own.
ABC is dying. He was the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards. Remember I did that? Remember I wrote I put a Truth. Everybody should go to Truth immediately. And by the way, we also love Elon, I have to tell you. Gave me a big endorsement, big one. But remember in the Academy Awards, I said how he's the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards, and this stupid guy goes up, and just before the Best Picture of the Year, the show is almost over. They're waiting for the Best Picture of the Year. He gets up, and he says, and his wife said, please don't do it. Please, darling, don't go out. His manager said, don't do it. I have to do it. He goes out and reads my truth to the entire audience right before the prime time, the Best Picture. And it said basically, he is the worst host of the history. He reads the whole thing. And then I think he said something like, ha, 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 he thinks he bothers me, or some crap like that. I said, he's one of the dumbest human beings ever. He should have listened to his wife. What a dope.
Then came the week that many people across the media described as a cancellation, while Jimmy Kimmel appeared to treat it more like a challenge. In mid-September 2025, ABC removed Jimmy Kimmel Live from the schedule for 6 days, after one of Kimmel's monologues referenced the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, while also criticizing the wave of online outrage that followed. Disney explained that the pause was intended to reduce tensions, yet the controversy only continued to grow. Donald Trump publicly welcomed the suspension and argued that broadcasters who criticize him should face even stronger consequences. As Reuters reported, the situation became increasingly complicated because even after ABC confirmed that the program would return, several major station groups, including Nexstar and Sinclair, continued keeping the show off the air in certain local markets. The program eventually returned the following Tuesday, but the ongoing disagreement between the network and some of its affiliates kept the story in the national conversation. When Kimmel finally returned, he delivered an emotional defense of free speech, presenting the entire episode as a larger test of whether political pressure and organized public backlash could discourage criticism. Looking at the broader picture, it felt like another chapter in the continuing public conflict between Kimmel and Trump, extending a story that had already gained momentum after the Oscars.
As of this taping, the president has not weighed in on ABC's decision to put us back on the air. I don't know, maybe he's saving it for his late night toilet time, but his magnificence had other business today in New York, big business, addressing the United Nations, which got off to a rocky start when the Trumps hit the escalator and it suddenly stopped. They had to walk up. He broke the escalator. Where was that escalator 10 years ago when we needed it on the way down?
One of the most revealing parts of the entire story came later when Jimmy Kimmel appeared with Stephen Colbert and opened up about what had actually happened behind the scenes. He described receiving a phone call while he was in the bathroom less than an hour before the show was scheduled to begin. The guests had already checked in, the audience was waiting, the crew was in position, and everything seemed ready to go. His immediate reaction was simple. He thought his time on the show might be over. Even with that uncertainty hanging over him, Kimmel chose to record the episode for the archive because he already knew that some local affiliates had decided not to air the broadcast. Reports from outlets including Business Insider, Entertainment Weekly, and The Hollywood Reporter documented the sequence of events, and for anyone familiar with television production, the situation felt completely believable. A production can spend an entire day preparing every detail, only for one unexpected phone call to change everything within minutes. That kind of honesty is a major reason Kimmel connects with audiences. He does not present himself as a politician delivering carefully rehearsed talking points. He approaches these moments as a comedian who keeps walking onto the stage, even when the pressure is at its highest, delivers the material anyway, and trusts the audience to decide what they think. If this had been nothing more than another late-night host criticizing a politician, many people probably would have dismissed it as routine. But when you place it alongside Barack Obama's earlier moments, the story takes on a much broader meaning. Back in 2011, a sitting president used humor to make a serious point about accountability, showing that a well-timed joke can sometimes deliver a political message more effectively than a lengthy speech.
Why are folks making excuses for that? Oh, well, that's just him. No. There are consequences to these actions. They embolden other people to be cruel and divisive and racist. And it frays the fabric of our society. And it affects how our children see things. And it affects the ways that our families get along. It affects how the world looks at America. That behavior matters. Character matters. This guy is temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief, and he is not equipped to be president. And this should not be a controversial claim. It really shouldn't. I mean, it's strange how over time what is crazy gets normalized. And we just kind of assume, well, you know what? He said 100 crazy things, so the 101st thing we just don't even notice. He says he'll be his own foreign policy advisor. He says he can do that because he has a good brain. Now, that is contestable. Do you want somebody to be your voice who on tape brags about how being famous allows him to get away with sexual assault? Who calls women pigs or dogs or slobs and grades them on a scale of 1 to 10? That is not the voice of America. That's not the better angels of our nature. And we have a choice. We can choose that, or we can choose to teach our kids that our diversity is our strength, that women are full and equal citizens capable of doing anything a man does, that our job, particularly when we have positions of authority, particularly when this country has blessed us, is to treat everybody with dignity, treat everybody with respect, to treat everybody with generosity and kindness.
If you take the time to read the official transcript from Barack Obama's White House Correspondents' Dinner, you begin to notice how carefully every joke was built. The introductions are brief, the facts stay grounded in the public record, and each punchline arrives naturally without feeling forced. Obama never needed to rely on personal insults because he simply laid out the information and trusted the audience to reach its own conclusion. Then, during his final Correspondents' Dinner in 2016, he closed the evening by thanking the press before ending with the now famous words, "Obama out," followed by the unforgettable microphone drop that instantly became one of the defining comedy exits by a sitting president. The moment was not just entertaining, it was remarkably disciplined and carefully controlled. When you compare that style with Jimmy Kimmel's ability to work a live audience in real time, you begin to see why Trump's reactions so often become part of the story itself. That connection is what makes these moments so memorable. Kimmel reading Trump's Truth Social post during the 2024 Oscars carries the same underlying spirit as Obama calmly looking into the camera in 2011 and treating the birther conspiracy with dry humor instead of outrage. Their delivery could not be more different, but the objective remains remarkably similar. They invite the audience to compare Trump's public statements with the public record. Obama accomplishes it with a raised eyebrow and carefully timed pauses, while Kimmel simply reads the post aloud and lets the crowd finish the joke through its reaction. In both situations, the message comes across without shouting, because when the story is strong enough, louder rhetoric is unnecessary. During the controversy surrounding Kimmel's suspension, that same discussion spread across late-night television, with other hosts joking about the irony of a comedy program facing removal over monologue jokes, while pointing out that some of the loudest supporters of punishing critics were also celebrating when those critics temporarily lost their platform.
Yesterday, after threats from Trump's FCC chair,
There were even moments when late-night television almost felt like a relay race, with Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert passing the conversation from one stage to another while continuing the same broader discussion. Their crossover appearance generated significant attention, and the response throughout the industry suggested that this was about much more than one television host criticizing a politician. It began to feel like late-night comedies standing together in defense of its ability to question, challenge, and joke about people in positions of power. In that sense, Kimmel can be viewed as carrying forward an approach that Barack Obama demonstrated years earlier during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The setting may have changed, from a political ballroom to a television studio, but the principle remained the same. No one is required to enjoy every joke for it to deserve a place in public debate. That idea ties all of these moments together. The biggest laughs often arrive when the comedy stays closest to the documented facts. Obama's 2011 routine connected with audiences because he addressed the birther conspiracy by pointing toward the public record before delivering the punchline. Kimmel's memorable Oscars exchange worked for a similar reason. He simply read Trump's own Truth Social post aloud and allowed those words to become part of the joke. In both examples, the facts carried much of the weight, while the timing transformed the moment into something people continued talking about long afterward. That is why the public reactions so often followed such a familiar pattern.
The moment that, because really the first people I texted when I got the news that we were pulled off the air, I came into my office and I told some people, and then I texted you and Jimmy and Seth and the two Johns to let you know what had happened.
Yeah.
But you were on stage at that time.
Yes. I was just finishing my show. When you're texting, I didn't get it from you. I was on stage. I just finished the show. It was a Wednesday night. We had a pretty good show. I was about to say, good night, join us tomorrow for Pete Barbuti and Adrienne Barbeau, or like whoever my guest was the next night. And Victor Buono. And some Victor Buono fans over there. Thank you. And my executive producer comes over and he goes, "Hey, I just got this text from Carrie. She thinks I think I'm right to show it."
Barack Obama and Jimmy Kimmel approach comedy in completely different ways, yet the way they build unforgettable moments has more in common than many people realize. Obama often used humor to reinforce a larger message, ending his final White House Correspondents' Dinner with the unforgettable Obama out microphone drop, while Kimmel closed his memorable Oscars exchange by simply thanking President Trump after reading Trump's own Truth Social post to the audience. The words were different, but the effect was remarkably similar. In both cases, the moment was not truly complete until the public reacted, because that reaction transformed a joke into something much larger than entertainment. It became part of a broader discussion about political power, public image, and the way influential figures respond when criticized. That is one reason these clips continue circulating years later. They are remembered not only because they made people laugh, but because they captured genuine reactions unfolding live in front of millions of viewers. You can even see that dynamic during the Oscars broadcast itself. While millions watched the ceremony on television, many were also following social media updates in real time. Kimmel understood exactly how those two audiences overlapped. Instead of ignoring Trump's online post, he folded it directly into the live broadcast and turned Trump's own words into one of the evening's most widely discussed moments.
Is there something we need to know? Did we land on the moon?
It's crazy. Jerry told me that you know.
Okay, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been pulled indefinitely by ABC. Wow. Wow. Wait, hold on one second. I'll be right back. I want to find out what this is about. I'll be right back. So, there's no signal in the Ed Sullivan Theater, so it didn't tell me why. There was no rationale given, just that you had been yanked. So I went backstage.
I did something stupid, right?
I generally assume that it's your fault.
Yeah.
I know you well enough to do that. So I went backstage and then I was like, oh, I don't know what this, I can't really tell why this happened, so we'll talk about it tomorrow. And then we did the whole next night was just a...
Now picture the ending almost like a split screen playing out in front of you. On one side stands the elegant ballroom of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, with chandeliers overhead, guests dressed in formal black tie, and Barack Obama standing calmly behind the podium, wearing his familiar composed expression. A raised eyebrow, carefully timed pauses, and a room filled with laughter, while Donald Trump sits quietly among the audience. On the other side is the bright stage of the Academy Awards, surrounded by some of the biggest names in entertainment, where Jimmy Kimmel casually reads one of Trump's Truth Social posts as though it were just another cue card, before turning it into one of the night's biggest laughs. Different locations, different personalities, and different styles, yet both moments point toward the same larger lesson. Facts often leave a stronger impression than exaggeration, and great timing usually speaks louder than louder rhetoric ever can. Now it is your turn to join the conversation. Which moment stands out most to you? Was it Obama's memorable 2011 appearance, his 2016 farewell at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, or Kimmel's live Oscars response? Share your thoughts in the comments, because it is always interesting to see which moments people remember most. And if you enjoy revisiting unforgettable television moments and the public reactions that follow them, make sure to subscribe, because every time one chapter closes, another remarkable live television story always seems to be waiting just around the corner.